Hi, I'm Lexi Erickson, contributing editor to Lapidary Journal Jewelry Artist Magazine. I get many emails from our Lapidary Jewelry Artist readers, and though I'm best known for teaching soldering tricks and tips, I'm mostly asked about how do I finish my pieces. I like to finish my pieces by hand. I'm an old archaeologist, and I like my pieces to have texture and soul and life. I like them to look like they were dug up yesterday. My friend and fellow jeweler, Julie German-Melka, taught me that texture is life. I've always used little or no electricity in my work, and that includes all the finishing. It started when I lived in South America, where many of my students had no electricity in their homes and studios. And you know what? My students taught me a lot. I've learned to love the zen of the hand finishing process. So here's what we're going to cover today: purchasing your silver and checking out the sheet silver for scratches and making sure it's not bent. How to store your silver, whether it's sheet, wire, or bezel wire. We talk about hardware store sandpapers and why I don't use them. What I do use: crocus cloth, which is available from Auto Parts, the 3M products, which should be in every jeweler's pantheon of jewelry supplies, why I do use electricity sometimes to clean up the inside of the bezels, and specialty jewelry making supplies like the spiders. I also use common kitchen supplies for finishing like Barkeeper's Friend, brass brushes, scrubbies, and Dawn detergent, just things you'd find at your grocery store. Let's imagine we have just finished soldering, pickling, and rinsing. So where do you go from there? Okay, let's get started. My very first tool that I ever bought 27 years ago was a small file. I didn't know very much about buying files because this was my first semester in jewelry at the university, and my professor didn't take much time to explain the different files and the different grits and the different sizes, so I bought the wrong one. I get a lot of questions about what files are used for what application. So let's start and let's look at some of the files. This is really my entire file setup I have on my bench. And I have started over here with the coarser files and worked from the coarser files all the way to the smoother files. And we're going to talk about these right now. There's a couple of different files on the market, and my favorite file to use is called a Gros Bas. It's a Swiss file. And I have learned that you buy the very best tools that you can afford. On buying these Gros Bas files, they will last you a lifetime. If you take care of them and you don't let them scratch against each other, because the last thing you want to do is your files to scratch against each other. So I have little blocks of wood here. I stack them all together in these blocks of wood. They're easy to get to. And when I travel to different workshops, I have something that I slip my files in so they don't scratch against each other in my toolbox. This file with a yellow handle is called a Val Titan file. They make a whole series of them with yellow handles, and they're really made for platinum and harder metals. And they take a little bit of breaking in if you're going to use them on silver. So I have kind of really worked this on some heavier pieces of platinum and worked it down to where I like it as a silver file. It is a zero cut. It's what's called a hand file. It's a 6-inch file. I really think that if you can only afford one tool for starting out, a number 0 is a great tool to have because it fits your hand well. It also is for the rapid removal of metal. So if you are a little shy on your sawing and you haven't really conquered sawing yet and you have a lot of cleanup to do, a number 0 file is a great file to have. I know that everybody, I'm going to catch some flack from this, but I know that everybody says put handles on files. The handles seem to throw off my balance, and I don't let the tang, which is this part of the file, go into my hand. I usually hold it a little more like this so that the tang or the handle comes back past my hand here. It's comfortable to use. I like to use it. Here's a round surface for going on the inside of circles. Here's a flat surface for going on the outside of circles. So you don't use the rounded side on the outside. And when you're filing, you'll find that it's pretty comfortable just to hold it like this. So this is a Val Titan. It's for the platinum, but I really like it for silver. It's rough. It's a little bit rougher, but man, does it eat off that silver.